Hi guys, Hannah here. Welcome to my video and to my channel. Today I'm taking you on a little tour of my bookshelf, my absolute prized possessions here. I had a friend message me the other day asking if I had done a bookshelf tour, and I said yeah, I did one when I first built the bookcases, and then I did a TBR tour a few months ago, and then I checked and it's been like 8 months and my collection has changed so much since then. So we're doing an updated bookshelf tour today. So get cozy, get yourself a warm beverage, and let's crack into it. I am primarily a romance reader. I kind of flip between contemporary romance and romantasy. Those are like my main two genres. Okay, I just did a really quick count of the books on my bookshelf. I have got 158 books on here, including fiction, non-fiction, TBR, but not including my sheet music, and 66 of those books are on my TBR. I know for some people this is quite a modest collection. There are some crazy collections out there. I'm really proud of my collection and it's growing every day. I'll start by giving you just a really quick overview of what we've got here. So we've got a lot of decorations on there right now, a lot of empty spaces, which I hope to one day fill. But down the bottom, I've got my non-fiction and then TBR on this shelf and these shelves here. And then all my red books from here up. And then this top shelf is pure decoration. I got some figure skating trophies and a bouquet that I caught at a friend's wedding. So that's just a really quick rundown of the layout of my shelves. So now it's time to dig a little deeper and I'll show you what's on my shelves. So we'll start from the top and make our way down the shelf. First, we've got a decor shelf at the top here, a fake plant, and then this watercolor corgi that I painted myself. A corgi is my favorite breed of dog. This second shelf here, we have got my Stephanie Garber Shrine, majority the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I love that series so much. I read it for the first time earlier this year, and it's just so magical, so whimsical. I need to do a reread, I really do. So I've got the original, I think these are the UK covers. I love the color theme so much. And then recently there's been like a new colorway that's come out. So I had to get the new colorway, of course. They are exactly the same books and the same art, just in different colors. But I had to get it, I had to. It feels like having a special edition. There's a tiara on top there that I won with my sister doing a LARP at Comic-Con. That was heaps of fun, and so that trophy lives right there. I've got my Spectacular and then these special editions of Caraval, which I think are just absolutely beautiful. They were on my wish list for such a long time and I'm so glad that I finally own them. I think they are just beautiful. I didn't love Caraval as much as Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I did really like it too. So maybe when I redo my reread for Once Upon a Broken Heart, I'll have to do Caraval as well. And I believe these special editions are from Acrylics, if you'd like to get your own. Then down from that, this is also kind of a display shelf. I have got my collector's edition Powerless hardbacks. I just love the foiling on these so much. They're so pretty. So I put all the dust jackets in a box because I don't want to throw them out, but I just would rather display the foiling. I think it's so gorgeous. And next to that, I've got this adorable, like, cake jar. This was a candle from Kmart that I just like got rid of the wax in. And now it's got my little coin purse in it. This is where I keep my coins. But even though I got rid of the candle, I like put boiling water in there so that it all melted and I could like get it out. It still smells so strong. And like, it's a good smell, it's just very strong. So now all my money smells really nice. And then down here, this is where we've got my contemporary romance section. I've got my special edition of Wildfire, 5 stars, love that book so much. Beautiful Mess, First Time Caller, love. Passenger Princess, Love Unleashed, which I actually went to an author signing. This one's signed. And then I have Call It What You Want. This, I don't have as many nice things to say. A really bad book, and I don't like to diss books very often, but this was just awful. Then we've got 'Tis the Season for Revenge, one of my favorite Christmas books, absolutely love it. Picking Daisies on Sundays, You and Me on Vacation, my standard edition of Wildfire, Holiday Ever After, which I read in my last reading vlog, Great Big Beautiful Life, Book Lovers, Love Light Farms, Practice Makes Perfect, Fragile Sanctuary. I actually loved that book. It like blends the genres of romance and like thriller a little bit, or like mystery. I honestly, the lines between thriller and mystery are really blurry for me. Then we've got Travis and Archer's Voice. I of course have 2 copies of Archer's Voice. I've got the regular copy and then a special edition as well with the annotated sides by Mia Sheridan. And then down here, this is most of my TBR here. I've kind of separated it by like contemporary romance and then romantasy down the bottom here. I try and color coordinate where I can. You would have noticed that my contemporary romance shelf here is color coordinated, and I've tried to do that with my TBR as well. I'm totally fine separating authors because honestly, I'm gonna be more likely to remember what the cover looks like versus who the book is by. So as long as I know what color the cover is, as long as I know the title of the book, it's fine. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, How to Break My Heart by Kat T. Masson. This one is beautiful. I love these sprayed edges. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. Then we've got Take a Bow, Noah Mitchell, Last Time We Met, Love Unmasked, Hopeless, Felix Ever After, Funny Story, The No Show. Some of these I got for free as a hand-me-down by my sister-in-law, which is so generous of her. She's got quite the book collection. This I got from my sister-in-law. It's a special edition of Beach Read. I actually think the naked hardcover of this one as well is so pretty. It's just like this pale yellow and it says, I feel overwhelmed that you exist, with a little flower on the front. Like it's just so beautiful. And then of course sprayed edges, love. So I cannot believe that she simply gave out a special edition. What a queen. Then spoiler alert, Collide. I've got the Dreamland Billionaires series, Better Than the Movies, The 7-Year Slip, and then I've got Delicate Escape and Chasing Shelter, which are from the same series as Fragile Sanctuary that I told you about earlier. I do love the cover art for this whole series. The problem is that every book looks the same. So I did accidentally buy double of one of these books and then have to return it because I thought I didn't own it yet, but turns out I did. They all just look exactly the same, so I forgot. Then Falling for Gage, Unsteady, Wandering Wild, Spiral, The Duke and I, the first book in the Bridgerton series. I'm really curious. I've never read like period romance before, so I am really curious as to whether I will like it or not, because I did like the series. Love Requires Chocolate, Sweetest Oblivion. I lent that out to a friend, actually the same friend that asked me if I'd done a tour yet. I will get around to it eventually. She will like ask me every so often whether I've read it or not. Not yet is the answer, but I will. Then I've got a special edition of the Inheritance games. I think this looks so cool. All right, I'm moving down to the last shelf. This is the last shelf of my TBR. We are starting strong with a series here. We have got the Kindred Curse saga down the bottom here. I just know I'm gonna love this series, but I wanna wait until it's finished because there's one book left in the series, I think Burn of the Everflame, and so I want to wait until Burn of the Everflame is out and then read them and like read all of them, because I've got so many fantasy series that I've read the first book for or the first 2 books for, and then by the time the next book comes out I've just forgotten everything that happens. I feel like I would much rather just wait until they're all out and then binge them all. Then we've got the games God's Play, Diabound, Everblessed, When the Moon Hatched, Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. That's gonna go up on my Stephanie Garber shrine shelf eventually. Metal Slinger, Silver Elite, The Whispering Dark, Brimstone. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read Brimstone. I finished Quicksilver the other day and I absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star. I know I've got to read Kingfisher's extra chapters before I read Brimstone, so I'm glad that I read that somewhere online, maybe on like YouTube or Instagram. So I'm really glad I read that because apparently it like ties into the book and I would have no idea if I hadn't read that. So yes, I'm gonna read those chapters and then I'll read Brimstone. And then I've got Alchemized. Oh my god, this is an absolute brick. I got the one with the sprayed edges. I would love, sound off in the comments, do you like sprayed edges or not? Because I definitely get sucked into the whole like marketing, like, oh, it's special because it's got sprayed edges. And I do think they look cool, but honestly, I feel like the more of them I have on my shelf, the more it just kind of looks disjointed, and I think there's something classic about a bare edge. I don't know, I'm starting to get a little bit in two minds about it. So let me know your opinion in the comments, because I've also seen people say that like their sprayed edges are starting to fade and it's looking a little bit like worse for wear. And look, my little library is completely out of the sun. This corner gets no direct sunlight, but I am, yeah, is it gonna fade? Is it gonna look bad? Would it look better if I just have bare edges? I don't know. Anyway, then I've got Fallen Stars. This is one of those series I was talking about where I've read the first book, loved it. We'll get over to that shelf eventually, but it's been a while since I read that and the second book just came out, and I feel like I'd have to do a reread of the first book to understand the second book, and then I have to wait another year until the third book comes out. So do I just wait until the third book is out and read it then? Then I've got the first two books in the Chronicles of Castle Lane series. Cassandra Clare. I've never read any Cassandra Clare. She is a very popular author, and I need to get on the boat. I need to get on the train. Then we've got Wings of Starlight. This was everywhere online for a little bit, and now I see it nowhere. Then Akane, I've got a special edition of Assistant to the Villain with sprayed edges, very cool. And then Lucky Last There, Half a Soul. And that is this shelf done. Let's hop back up and go check out the other side. I think I have pins and needles. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. And now this is the bit you've all been waiting for. The wait is over. I can finally tell you where this ukulele came from. I actually made this ukulele and I painted it with my sister for an old YouTube video, like maybe 2019. I'll link it. I think the video is still public, but it is just this adorable little pink, pastel pink. It's got some daisies on the front, and then on the back, are you ready? Drum roll, please. We have got Bongo Cat. Yes, that's right. This is purely for display. It does not get played because I used to write a lot of songs. I used to be quite the ukulele girly, but now it's just kind of on display. I think she's really cute. And then right next to her, I have got this little bunny candle, which I will never light. This I got as a Secret Santa present from my friend Emily. Emily, if you're watching this video, shout out. She's like one of my most devoted viewers, so love you, boo. This shelf here is kind of like my anything that isn't romance shelf. So we've got some general fiction, some thriller, some mystery. I think that's kind of it. Starting off strong, we have got my copy of Peter Pan. I actually got this from Barnes & Noble in New York in like 2016, and I got it right after I had done a production of Peter Pan. I played Wendy Darling, and then we saw Finding Neverland on Broadway. It was just absolutely beautiful. So this is a very, very beautiful edition. Then I've got two copies of Little Women, again, because I was in a show. This, I played Amy March, and I got both of these copies as gifts from the show. Then I've got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, Loveless, When Haru Was Here, Malibu Rising, Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop, Yellowface, The Husband's Secret, and The Girls I've Been. There's a lot going on here, but these books had to go somewhere. And then over here we've got the princess in her cage. There's like a little baby potato light up thing in there. Unfortunately, the light doesn't work anymore, so she's been put in timeout in her cage. This is from like 2013, I think, IKEA. Like, this is vintage. I think they still sell the same lantern, which is crazy. And of course, I popped a tiara on top, because if there's somewhere I can put a tiara, I will put a tiara there. And then right on the end, I've got these little book stack earrings. They are so cute. My mum bought them for me for Christmas, I think. This shelf here, I was honestly really surprised when I was putting this shelf together that there are so few books on this shelf. This shelf is my adult romantasy, so like my spicy romantasy, and it's mostly empty, which is really surprising because I think this is like my favorite genre, although there was a period of time where I was reading absolutely no spice, so maybe that was the period of time that I was buying most books. Who knows? We've got our decor, Love Heart Mirror, little fairy garden. I think she's really cute. We've got A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a like beautiful gold foiled special edition. Court of Thorns and Roses was the first series to like really get me back into reading, so it felt appropriate to get the special edition. I did read all of those books. I haven't read Silver Flames yet, but I did read all the other books digitally, so unfortunately I don't have the full series on my shelf, but maybe one day I'll buy the box set. Then we've got Quicksilver, which I recently read and loved. We've got Heavenly Bodies, and then the Fourth Wing series here. I've been halfway through Onyx Storm since the start of this year, and I don't think I'll be continuing. That might be a controversial thing to say, but yeah, the series is unfortunately not for me, I think. I'm just getting a little bored, which when the books are that long, that's kind of the last thing that you want. And then here we have got my spice-free fantasy shelf. I think most of these are YA. We've got the Hunger Games series here, and then Our Infinite Fates. This is a beautiful book. I have shown this book off on my channel before, but I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. And then the end pages and the sprayed edges. Absolutely stunning. And then my little moth section, we've got the Crimson Moth duology and then the Knight and the Moth. So excited for the next book to come out. We've got the Emily Wilde. Unfortunately, we've got Emily Wilde book 2 and 3. I don't have book 1 because by the time I went to read this series, they weren't selling book 1 in trade paperback anymore. So if anyone is selling a trade paperback size Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, please let me know because I need to finish my set. I've got the anniversary edition of Twilight here. These portrait sprayed edges are so cool. I love them so much. I think they are so cool. Then we've got Lightlark, the Shepherd King duology, Where the Dark Stands Still, Circe, and the Percy Jackson series there. And of course, another tiara, because as we know, I'm gonna put as many tiaras on my shelf as I can. Thank you. We've got the rest of my TBR, starting on this side with anything that isn't romance. So we've got The Wedding People, Tom Lake, Carrie Soto is Back, Last Seen Online, Thursday Murder Club, The Nightingale, Big Little Lies, The IT Girl or The It Girl, Bunny, Anxious People, Lessons in Chemistry, Verity, and Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I think Verity isn't a romance. I don't know. It might be romance. I'm not entirely sure. I think there is a subplot of mystery or thriller. I don't know. I haven't done too much research into this book. But yeah, just like the non-romance shelf we looked at earlier, this is also a bit of a mix with some general fiction, mystery, historical fiction. Then I've got this adorable little tulip pen cup, which is just holding my bookmarks right now. It is so cute. I'm obsessed. And then over here is kind of like my leftover TBR. I've got 2 Christmas books that I've got to read before Christmas. I've got Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret and Good Spirits. I'm gonna get these done before the end of the year. I swear it. And if I don't, yell at me in the comments. Then we've just got a few fantasy that didn't fit on my fantasy shelf before. We've got The Rose Bargain, 13th Child, Phantasma, and The Dagger and the Flame. And finally, lucky last shelf, this is my non-fiction shelf. So on this side, we've got my like sheet music collection. We've got some vocal sheet music, some piano sheet music, some like vocal pedagogy stuff. And then we head over to the rest of my non-fiction. I've got some self-help, a bit of like finance, some language education stuff, and you can kind of see it poking out there. This is, oh, I've also got these little like moisture absorbers all the way through my bookshelf. This is a brand new one, so there's no liquid in there yet. I've got them all through my bookshelf, and I was so surprised when I started pulling them out and seeing just how much moisture they were collecting. I didn't think that I would have so much moisture. Yeah, just trying to protect all my books, put those little moisture absorbers in there, and obviously they've been doing their job because they've been collecting so much moisture. So I've got those scattered all through my bookshelf to really like protect every shelf. But moving on to the rest of the shelf, we've got Women Don't Owe You Pretty, Burnout, You Are a Badass, Rise Sister Rise, Simple Soulful Sacred, Subtle Art, Single Pringle, Person in Progress. I've yet to read Person in Progress, actually. I love the Psychology of Your 20s podcast, and so when I saw Gemma was coming out with a book, I had to buy it, but I'm not sure if I'll actually read it physically. I bought it because I wanted to support her, but I think I'll actually listen to it as a podcast because I love her, like as an audiobook, because I love her podcast so much, and I think I'll actually enjoy her writing more if I'm listening to it like I would listen to the podcast. Does that make sense? And then I've got the Let Them theory. I have been halfway through this book for most of this year. I'm not sure I'll ever finish it. I really have to be in a very specific mood to read non-fiction. And then I've got But My Speech Is Fine, which is a speech pathology book, Girls That Invest, Mental Health First Aid Manual, which is a bit random, Barefoot Investor, and then just a few language books for Japanese and Korean, because I was trying to teach myself those languages for a while. It didn't last. But that is my whole bookcase. We did it! Alright everyone, that was my bookshelf tour. I hope you enjoyed. I am so proud of these bookshelves. They are small compared to other people's collections, but I'm very grateful for every single book that I own. It is my absolute dream that one day these two little shelves will transform into a whole like home library room, where I just get to walk in and see like walls of shelves of books that are just like beautiful special editions, books that I love. Like, that is the dream. But for now, I'm very grateful for my little corner. I think it's so satisfying, and isn't it so beautiful? Oh, I love it so much. There is so much room for growth on these shelves, so I'm very, very excited to, yeah, discover a whole bunch of new books, read a whole bunch. I would love to know which shelf was your favorite, or if there's a book on here that you've read that I haven't, that you think that I should pick up, definitely let me know. And since you've made it to the end, comment down below a yellow love heart emoji so that I know you watched to the end, because I really, really appreciate you. You are the absolute best, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye!